Now, back in OP09, Red Shanks was one of my favourite decks. Shanks is a very cool character, he's a lot of fans, and his deck I thought was quite fun as well, being a more slow-paced, control-y deck with all those removal pieces that could deal with your opponent's board, and then build up a big wall of very high-statted characters on your own. Now, Green Shanks in OP17 is not a removal deck, but it is very control-y. You rest your opponent's characters and then attack into them to deal with your opponent's board and build up a big wall of characters on your own. It feels somewhat similar. Also feels a little bit like Kobe in a strange way, because you are really focused on attacking board in the early game, it feels like, especially into more aggressive decks. But first, on the 16th of August, Sleeve Chief have not only a restock and upgrade of their existing Cherry Blossom binder, now with pink pages inside, what a treat, but also the release of the new gold and blue themed Night Blossom binder. Both of these will be releasing on the 16th of August, and if you want to get 5% extra off, you can use code MARINE. Thank you to Sleeve Chief for sponsoring this video. Now, one question that a lot of people have had is, how is this deck going to be different from Green Mihawk, and is it just worse than Green Mihawk? Well, I don't feel qualified to answer the second yet. My tinfoil hat theory is probably, but I'm not sure. However, in terms of how it's different, this card, Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman is a 7/9 with character rush that can rest 2 characters and draw a card. Just insane stats all around. It rests any costs, even those characters in, for example, Black Luffy, like the Loki. You're able to rest that and then stun it immediately with your leader effect, which stops that guy being a blocker for at least 2 turns, which is huge value. In addition, this just means that whatever you played on your 5-Don turn can then just start swinging into your opponent's board. Your leader can start swinging into their board. This guy can immediately start swinging into their board, which really slows the game down. And his vanilla stat line of 7/9 is just really, really good. 9k swings 3 cards above most leaders. It swings over the threshold of 8 into rocks. Just an incredible stat line, and the fact that it draws a card to increase your consistency is just amazing. As a result, this is the list I'm playing, and I'm maxing out on all of the Red Hair Pirate searchers. We've got 4 of the Lime Juice, who is also a 2k, 4 of the Lucky Roo, who, if you're on evens, this is finally a good 4-cost play for green decks. Feels like 4 costs in green have been just horrible for so long, and his Lucky Roo is great. It's a top 3 search. You grab a Red Hair Pirates card, nothing special, but on opponent's attack, you can trash this character to rest any of your opponent's leaders or characters. This can set up for some really cool plays if you leave him on the board for a couple turns. Firstly, of course, it combos with your leader effect. You can rest something and then freeze it. Magic. You can also just rest something to get out of an attack if you think that 1 extra swing, you don't want to take it. Or you can use Lucky Roo. Also, when you're going to 9 or 10, this 9-cost Shanks I've been really, really enjoying in the deck. And even if your opponent has something on the board that they don't want to attack with, maybe a Loki. Not going to question why there's still a Lucky Roo on the board if your opponent played Loki. Maybe Crone Ollie was in play to protect Lucky Roo with her anti-removal effect. But anyway, you can then use this Roo to rest the Loki so that they can't not swing with it as such. And then you can follow that up with a Shanks. And I'm also playing 4 of the Event Searcher. This doubles as a 3k counter. Do remember you've got to leave another card up. That comes up way more in this deck than Mihawk. We don't have a stage, and whilst we do play searchers, we're playing a lot of dudes, so sometimes you don't have a searcher left on the board, so bear that in mind. But a searcher that's a counter event just seems like an instant 4 to me. And this is really all just to increase consistency of finding Ben Beckman. We do have a lovely suite of 5-cost plays though, because whether you're going to be on evens or odds on 5 or 6, you're going to want to play something. The one that's new for Red Hair Pirates is Yasop. He can rest an 8, draw a card, and then end of turn you get to restand your characters. That's especially relevant because there is a lot of power reduction in the game at the minute. Into decks like Purple Kaido, Purple Lanel, Red Newgate, also Red Ace to some extent. This effect is just quite strong. But being able to rest an 8, of course, this combos perfectly with your leader effect on 6. On 5, it's not as good because you have to then trash a card. But the things that you'd be resting on 5 are often not as relevant as the things you might be resting on 6. So it works out alright. Odin is basically Yasop 2, He's not searchable off your red hair searchers, but he is searchable off Perona, who I'm playing at 3 copies. He stuns a base cost 6, which is great, again, into Enel, into Black Luffy for stunning the Loki. And he also draws a card just to get you more value. A lot of the cards in this deck, both the Yasop, the Odin, and the Ben Beckman, they all go hand neutral, as well as, of course, Lucky Roo. So by the time that you get sort of your 10 cost turn, you should be at a fairly healthy life plus hand count combination. And that is one sort of slight advantage you have over Mihawk, is that slightly more of your cards do draw a card, although Mihawk gets that value from lore if he finds lore. Alongside these two, I've got a couple extra 5 costs. Smoker is in here for the yellow decks, if you're playing into Lin or something. Smoker is better, and the Restand Don actually is quite good if you do get this on the board. If you're on 5 and your opponent doesn't have anything particularly exciting for you to interact with these fellas, then Smoker is perfectly reasonable. And Rockstar is in here for Mihawk. Only Mihawk. I guess you can play this into other matchups, but it's only really been Mihawk that I've been particularly excited to play this into. A lot of the new leaders aren't 6k, and even a lot of the more relevant older leaders don't go to 6k by like your 5 Don turn. And you don't want to be playing this on 7+ Don. You really don't. I've got him at 2, but he is like incredibly searchable because Perona can also search this. So into Mihawk, you will probably find this by 5 more often than not. As long as you find searches, of course. Top end, we're obviously playing 4 Beckman. We've talked about him enough. We're playing 4 of the new Shanks, resting everything, resanding 2 Dons. You're often going to use one of them for your leader effect, and then one of them for some kind of event, of which we've already talked about the search event, but there is also this event. This is like a Raging Tiger at home, but it's also a 4k for your Shanks. This can, of course, defend your leader. Can also defend these, but they're so damn big that it usually just defends leader. And I'm also playing 3 of the 9-cost Shanks, who I've been finding coming up a lot more than I expected. I started with this card at 1 copy, and I was just having a lot of games where it was like, oh, this is a pretty good play this turn. Then I went to 2, and then I had games where I was like, damn, I really wish I had 9-cost Shanks, but I don't have it. So I've gone to 3. This is searchable off all your searches. Both of these Shanks are slash. You can find with Perona, which is cool. She can also find all your events, which is nice. But yeah, these cards have just been feeling really good. So that's why he's at 3. Excess bricks in this deck are not a huge deal either, because you can use your leader effect to trash a card rather than resting a Don. Then you can use that Don for either a counter event, or a searcher, or just to swing a bit bigger with something. And that trash effect has been coming up a lot more than I anticipated. Playing 1 0 cost, this also has the effect to rest a character, so when you're going for lethal, this can just rest any blocker, which is quite clutch. We finally got a better 0 cost than Justice, L plus Doflamingo plus Ratio. And in terms of 2Ks, 4 of Chronolly, who I briefly mentioned before, is a anti-removal effect. It's better than the Boon. It's slash, so it's searchable on everything, which is quite cool. And yeah, it's just better than the Boon. It protects everything outside of Odin and Smoker, which is... It's a shame it doesn't protect Smoker, because in the Lin matchup they can play Zeus, but you're not that worried about protecting Odin. So I think this is worth playing over the unsearchable Laboon. 4 of the Lime Juice who we've talked about. 4 of this Hongo. This is really nice into aggro decks early on, especially like GU, but also Black Luffy sometimes. If he whiffs, for example, the Jaguar D Soul, you can play Hongo, rest 2 of his weenies and just taking them out. And it's a blocker. This is just an exceptionally good card, in my opinion. And it restands it on. What a treat. And I'm playing 1 Fugar just because I wanted like 1 more 2k. We do play a lot of these 2ks out. Like Lime Juice, you're just playing out all the time. Hongo sometimes comes up, like I say, in some certain aggro matchups. And there will be matchups where you need Crone Ollie to play around, especially Raging Tiger. So 1 Fugar, it's fine. If you find it early into aggro decks, it's actually quite strong. But it's just a double searchable 2k for the most part. So that is the list. I've got a few games here for you with Shanks. Drink of the day was Peach Red Bull Sugar-Free Edition. But I've had plenty of other drinks. I've already had a cup of tea as well. Plenty of drinks today. It's quite warm. Anyway, hope you enjoy these games, and I'll talk about some other options at the end. Going to go into Kaido. Now, I think I want to take first into this deck. Because they really do want first. If he goes second and plays the Giga Ramp stuff, I'm generally okay with that. We have 2 searchers. We don't have a play for 5 or 7, though. We have our top end, and the Michael Shanks is very important. With only 2 searches, am I confident? Hongo's not great. We need kind of both of these to hit, like a Yasop and then a Ben Beckman, especially Ben Beckman. I think we can keep, but it is a little risky. Okay, well, we've got the Ben Beckman. That is very important, and then let's pass. We've got a couple draws as well before we need to find a 5 cost. Maybe we can find Peronas. That will do. That is acceptable. Let's do this first. Rockstar, I don't think... I think I prefer Lucky Roo here. Could take Lime Juice to just dig again. And I'm thinking I will take Lime Juice to just dig again. Because I would like to see Yasop. Well, we don't find him. That's okay. Second one of these is actually very strong in this matchup for dealing with their stuff. I don't rate this too highly. So we're only going to be playing one 6 cost or less character. So I'm going to take another 9 cost Shanks. And then we'll swing for 6. Cool. We'll see what he does this turn. If he plays the event, he gets to 9 very, very aggressively. But it's also, like, very weird because we can... yeah, it's just kind of weird. I don't know how to explain it. Because he goes so negative on hand advantage. And then Lin is giga dog shit because he doesn't have the king on the board. I think I'm actually going to counter this one. Because his attacks get bigger quick. Okay, he is going with the Giga Ramp. Trash's lead performers and king. Okay, well, we could play Yasop. But I actually think Lucky Roo's effect of resting a character is going to be really relevant in about 2 turns' time. So I'm going to just go 5. Because he's probably going to take anyway. Indeed. Playing the One Piece trigger, sure. Find a 10 cost blocker Kaido, that's fine. Now we're going to play this, and we're going to see what we find. I don't really want either of these. I think I'll just take a Hongo. I think I'll just take a 2k there. Then we'll pass. Now he gets to play out a 9 cost, which is probably the lead performers. The lead performers is the best one. And he tossed one, so I assume he has another. You know what I mean? We're not doing that. I am going to... Next turn, we're going to Ben Beckman. We're going to freeze. We're going to need cards in hand, so let's just take. Because we are going to need to trash one to freeze. Lead performers gets the heal as expected. Then we'll see the pass. Yep. Odin, not particularly exciting. Probably what I'm going to trash for leader effect. Let's go 5 at leader straight away. Don't think I'm attacking with Lucky Roo because in my... We'll see what this trigger is. Maybe this blows up my Lucky Roo. No. I suspect it might have been a ramp trigger. If he goes with 10 cost Kaido, that's the most annoying one. But if he plays the blocker Kaido... If he plays removal Kaido, not attacking with the Roo is a mistake, because we just lose 1k. If he plays the blocker Kaido, which is what he searched, keeping it on the board is quite clutch, because if he goes blocker Kaido, leader effect, we can then rest the blocker Kaido, take it out, and freeze the performers, which is insanely good value. So I'm going to not attack with it. Play the Ben Beckman, rest this, and then use leader effect to trash one card. I'll trash one of these Yasops to freeze this, and then pass. Now we see what he does. If he plays removal Kaido, then, you know, it's more difficult. Okay, at least he swings this first. He knows. That's smart. Smart. We're going to go... We're not taking another damage here. We're going to be removing one. We won't be able to freeze the other. So we're going to be taking a big hit next turn. I think we're fine to counter this with one Odin. I just know his swings get really, really big, really, really fast, and that scares me. It is blocker Kaido. He knows not to play this second, though. Smart fella. Okay, turns this into Queen. That's even smarter now, because we can't 9 cost Kaido, actually. intelligent from our opponent there. Yeah, we do not have a good play now. How about that? Well, I'm glad I didn't. Maybe we... There's never a world where we bait him into blocking, right? We'll probably just play the Yasop here, if nothing else. So I'm going to swing with the Benbekman to try and bait him into blocking. Yeah, this guy's playing well. This guy's played well, but much better than the last card I played into. So we do not have a good play now. As soon as I put Don on here, he will not attack with this. Or he will just block with this. So there's no point swinging bigger than 5. This doesn't do anything. Just go 5. If he blocks, then we take it out, but I don't think he will. I think this guy's quite intelligent. Yeah, he knows. He knows. Okay. Let's go with this. Draw a card. We can't even rest anything because everything's too big. And then, do I want to play Hongo just as a blocker? I'm not going to Hongo there. I'm not going to. But we were better off swinging 5 than 9 there, which is strange, right? I guess if I'd swung 9 and he blocks, then we can freeze it. But I don't actually know if that's better or worse. Another blocker Kaido is scary. We're going to use this. Use the card action. Rest the one that can attack. He'll get to banish a life, but that's not the end of the world. It is what it is. Yeah, and he can do the banish with Queen. It's fine. Yep. We lose at Lucky Row. Oh no. Right, now we 9-cost Shanks will get rid of the Kaido, and we can stun the Queen for 1 Don or 1 card. I'm thinking 1 card. I might want 1 Don for an event. Would I rather stun this? I don't think so. Let's just go 5 leader. Maybe I would rather stun this. Okay, slow. That's fine. It's fine. Well, we're definitely not swinging with the Yasop. We get to stand this back up, and now the slow is out of his hand. We have to pop this. Then 1 Don might actually be better. And just commit to taking everything. Because we can't counter anything other than... We can counter leader. Trashing any of these cards feels really bad. I think if I was trashing anything, it'd be this event. Because this one's just better. He's not going to be attacking the Benbekman unless he's just killing it. With like some power reduction thing, so we can restand it here. I don't feel comfortable going down to 1. 2, maybe. 1, no. So let's trash. Are You That Afraid? Freeze this. And pass. Restand this. And we'll see what 10 cost he plays now. Will it be another one of these? Will it be Lead Performers? Will it be the removal Kaido? The removal Kaido to remove my Yasop would be good. Mama Ragan is, I don't think, good, because then he won't be at 10 next turn. He'll be at... Just another Queen. Okay. Stuns these, that's fair. He's going to claim the One Piece. Just passing here would be, I think, quite reasonable as well. If he does just pass, we're going to have to think carefully about what we go ahead to do. Queen. Queen. Trash is a 0 cost. Okay, he goes 5. If this swings, and we go down to 1, we can pop this, remove this, and start pressuring quite nicely. He'll only have the Queen. We'll be at 1, but we will have an event up. But we've only got 1 anyway. We'll only have 1 Don, max, if we play this. So I think we can counter this one. See if he swings the blocker. No. Intelligent. Okay. Right, now do we want to go rush Shanks? If we go rush Shanks, we can rest and freeze this. He will have 2 queens. But we can have 2 events, actually. Which is relevant. I think that's the line. And we'll toss the pop Shanks with the effect. Yeah. Yeah, Big Mum is the thing that's scariest here, but he's still going to have to counter a 5 and a 9. So let's go with this. Restand 2. Rest everything. Then we'll go 5. Never worth killing this. We'll go 5 at leader. Which he's got to give us 1 card. There's only 1 Don, so no slow beam sword. MrMaCHONaCHOMan, but he doesn't get the draw, which is nice. Then we'll go 9. Which he kind of has to counter this one, which I'm assuming that's what this 1 Don is for. He can do Flaming Dragon Torch and Leader Effect to counter this one. Takes the 9. Oh, here's an 11. There's that. Flaming Dragon Torch? Or the Gundam Meteor Shower. Yeah, same thing. Same thing. And then a 1k. Basil Hawkins, sure. And then we'll go 12. There is a world where we go 12 to 10, but I don't think it is this one. I think in this one we just pressure. Go 12 to 5. Use leader effect. I'm going to trash a card. I'm going to trash this because I think we just go for lethal next turn. We will freeze the blocker. End of turn. Who do I want to restand? He can't remove both of these anyway. If he's going to Big Mum, I think we restand the Ben Beckman. If he Big Mums, he heals back to 1, can reduce, say, this to 0. Then he leader effects this down to 9. You'd have 2 10s into it. No, you'd have some slightly more Don, actually, than that. Maybe we do restand one of these, but then we can lose the Ben Beckman. I'm not sure what's the best thing to restand here. It's points for both. I think I'm just going to keep one, guarantee the keep on one of the big fellas. So I'm going to restand this one because it's slightly easier for him to take out with the second swings. I don't know if that's correct or not. I don't know. He can't go lethal. Yeah, there's the Big Mum, as anticipated. Reduces this to 0. Two Don. Use this to 7. Yeah, he'll probably get both of these, but we do keep one big thing. It's not a... Maybe I should restand the Batman there. Sure, you got it. He doesn't want a leader effect. Can tell. Well, this doesn't do anything. Neither of these effects actually do anything in hand. We have to go for it this turn. There's too much. Is that true? I think so, yeah. So we can stun this. We can maybe take out a queen. But I think we're best off just going for it. And if we can save this, then that's amazing. I'm going to go with this one first. We'll rest. If he reduces this to 9, he can swing 11 into 9, so that's fine. We'll rest. And do we have another Don? Yeah, we have to use that though. Rest this, buff this. Resolve. Oh, this can't save Ben Beckman, can it? This only saves Shanks, actually. Fuck. Maybe that was incorrect. Maybe I should just let it go. Oh, he got greedy. Nope, that was the incorrect move, man. Yep, GG's. Okay, he had 2, 5, 6k and yeah, he just lost anyway. He lost to on board. Even if he cleared this, right? We put 4 here. We swing 7. He has to give leader effect 1k. Then we swing 9. He can give everything, and then we can split with the lime juice. Or we can even swing more than 9. So he just lost on board regardless. That was a really good game. I enjoyed that one a lot. He got the Giga Ramp with the 4-don combo. And he played really well. Turning that into the Queen as we went to 9 so we couldn't 9 Shanks it was a really intelligent play. I think Kaido is better than people are giving it credit for. I'm not a huge fan of these Omega Ramp events, but he made it work there, to be fair. He really did make it work, so maybe I need to give them a better chance. Shout out to Genshuo. Played very, very well. Yeah. Well played. Anything else in his deck that's interesting? Nothing too crazy. Well played, your opponent. Let's move on. Okay, got a game into Ace. We're going to need second in this matchup. This is looking to be one of the best decks in the format, is Ace. And I really do like the Odin. The Odin's solid. The Smoker, not so much. I don't like that I have no searches, though, so I think I'm going to mulligan that hand. Okay, this is looking better. I like the Lucky Roux. I like the Lime Juice. We will play Perona. There are slash targets we can... Oh, we've got 2 Lime Juice now, actually. He finds a 5-cost Ace, which is decent for 5, but not amazing. The card we're looking for most is Ben Beckman. The Perona is important for finding a 5-cost, though. I'm going to go with 1 Lime Juice, and we'll see what we get. Okay, nothing great there. I don't really rate the Hongo that highly, but it is a 2k, and we're playing out a lot of 2ks, so let's just take the 2k. Then I think... I can play Lime Juice into Ben Beckman on 8 to try and have 1 more search. I can also do this on 6, though. I'm going to go with another Lime Juice. The Ben Beckman is more important. We have just glossed over 2 Odins, though, which scares me for finding a 5-cost. We've still got the Lucky Roux. He could find Yasop. Yasop is fine. But, yeah, slightly scary. We'll see. We're going to take this 7. What did he take off the Garp? It was the, yeah, the 5-cost Ace. So that's going to be his play. Well, we found the Yasop, I guess. That works. 5 here, and then we'll just play out the Lucky Roux. Having this on the board for later is actually really nice. I don't hate having one of these as an event, as a counter event. Because we can leave these up later, and finding 9-cost Shanks could be pretty strong as well. So let's take the event, and then just pass. If this is just Ace 5, easy counter. With the Perona. If this is Luffy 6, it's slightly worse for us, because... Okay, well, we're not doing that. Yeah, I'll counter with the Perona here. Then next turn we'll go Yasop plus... Are you that afraid of the Newt? Do I want to use the Don, actually? We can toss the Smoker. This Smoker has not been coming up into anything other than yellow. It just feels worse than everything else. Next turn he's going to drop a 6-cost. Let's go with the Yasop. So we can restand Lucky Roux as well, which is quite cool. Do this, rest this. We'll attack with the Lucky Roux for 5. Then we'll attack the leader for 5. I think I do want to burn one of these. To try and find a 9-cost Shanks. Because I do think that could be very, very good on 10. For removing whatever specifically he plays on 10. Okay, we don't get a 9-cost Shanks. Definitely don't want a Yasop. Do want a second 10-cost. We might need it if we're not going to find a 9-cost. Yeah, if we're not going to find a 9-cost, we might need a second 10-cost. So let's take the second 10-cost. We'll attack for 5, and then I'll trash the Smoker to freeze the Ace. The next turn, his swings are going to be... He can do 7-8, which is quite threatening. There's not a lot I can do about it. He trashed a 2k there. It's interesting. Let's trash 1 card. We'll trash the Smoker to freeze the Ace. End of turn, restand the Roux. The fact that he's not got the 2-cost Luffy on the board is actually very good for us, though. It means that these units can swing meaningfully. Because something you sometimes have with this deck, no on that, will give up... Is he going to be playing hard removal? I doubt it. I think this is the least valuable card in our hand, and we're taking whatever this is. Vista, maybe. Vista's the most common one. Okay, no, he's going with the Luffy and maybe another ace. Well, we can try and take this Luffy out with the Ben Beckman now. So that's quite good for us. We can just pressure his board a lot this turn. Bit of a cut there. He thought the Luffy could gain a rush immediately. I've told him that it needs 2 Dom. It's one of those things. But yeah, I mean, I'd have probably just taken, and having another card in hand wouldn't actually be that bad for me right now. But I do think having the Luffy down is important for him here. Because otherwise he'd just die to all these 5s. But we're going to play the Ben Beckman. We're going to rest this and this. Then let's swing the Ben Beckman into the Luffy immediately. He should use Luffy effect straight away. Yep. And then, will he defend this? That's harder to say. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't have thought so. Now, we may as well swing into this ace, I think. Yep, he can take the search. That's fine. I don't really have anything I want to trash in hand, so I think I'll just rest the Don to keep this one frozen. Grabs a Rakuyo, which is a 2k. That's a good outcome for us, because he could have got something more relevant there. We'll use this. We'll rest 1 Don to freeze this ace. And then just pass. And then I'll restand the Ben Beckman, because if he's going to play the 8 cost Newgate here, I don't want my Ben Beckman to be vulnerable. I do not want that. That would be very bad. We need the Ben Beckman. He's too important. The Yasop, though, if he wants to spend an attack going into the Yasop, that's fine. I'd love to keep the Yasop on board because his end of turn effect's actually really good because of the amount of power down this deck can play. But yeah, there's the 8 cost Newgate. Will he show us 2 cards? If he doesn't show us 2 cards, it means he's not attacking Yasop. But the downside to this scenario here, right, is I guess he didn't have 2 cards. Which is kind of wild. That's kind of wild. I don't think am I saving? I could save the Yasop here. It's not that expensive. And the follow-up question is, do I want to trash this to rest the Newgate immediately? If I had 9 cost Shanks in hand, this would be the easiest decision of my life. But I don't. If he's going to ram it here, I don't... How useful is the swing? The swing is decent because he doesn't have Luffy on the board. But stopping this... I think I'm going to use it. Rest this. And then give 2k, 1k. We'll give up the Fugar and the Yasop. Can we get... Keeping the Yasop just feels very strong. But yeah, there's the weird interaction with the Newgate, right? Is if you play the Newgate first to give the power down, which you didn't end up doing, so I'm guessing he doesn't have a lot of 8Ks. And also to give the leader the buff, excuse me. Then you don't get to use it if I've got Lucky Rule on the board. It's a weird one. Now, Ben Beckman is fine, actually. So, and it stops him playing the 10 cost Newgate for 6, which is quite good. So I'm going to use this and see if we find 9 cost Shanks. We do. Okay. Well, that's even better. It was worth the gamble there, I think. Yep, let's do the attacks first. It will mean trashing the Ben Beckman to keep the ace frozen, unless we want to attack the ace. Which I don't really want to attack the ace. Because it gives him another search. Cool. Yeah, well, we can deal the damage here. Remove the Newgate. Develop a big fella. If he goes 10 cost Newgate next turn, if we play this, it will cost 6. Is one thing. What if we don't? No, we're taking 2 damage regardless. We need to deal with some of this board. Yeah, we need to push face here and deal with some of the board. Deal with the new gate. And then I'll trash one. I'll trash the Benbeckman to freeze this. And then I'll stand up the Benbeckman because again, I'm not too worried about the Yasop dying. At this point, if he attacks it, we will just let it go. Because I'd actually quite like to start taking some cards. Yeah, there's the new gate. Makes a lot of sense. And we're going to be taking... If he swings face here, we're just going to be taking 2 damage. If he swings into board, then we'll take 1 and the Yasop can go down. That's fine. But we've developed a 9/11 now, which is nice. He's going another Moby. He's got another Moby in hand. Because he just wants to swing very, very big. Yeah, he's just going face. I mean, we'll just take both of these. That's fine. We're going to freeze this new gate. And it's probably going to be frozen forever. Slightly too many bricks. It plays out a Luffy. Okay. That's not helpful for him. Or in the traditional way. His leader is very big. Which is a little scary. Let's go with this. Over this. 1, restand 2. We'll clear the Garp. If I'm leaving a Don up, I'm probably using this over this. How do we want to swing? I think these 2 are certainly going into life. This isn't swinging anywhere, so let's just swing into the Luffy. Just lets it go down. Very strange to play it if you're going to let it go down, but I guess this could have gone into the ace otherwise. I don't know. How valuable is it to get or to turn off this effect? But it does give him a search. I think getting rid of the swinger and turning off the effect is probably worth giving him the search. So I'm going to swing the Ben here. The Ben would have only got 1 2k if we'd swung it at face. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's the correct swing or not, but it's the swing I went for. And then we'll go 11. He does have 1 Don. This could be for time for the counterattack, but if it is, he's not using it. Then we'll go 12 leader as well. Okay. That's quite strong for us. We get rid of a Vista. Okay, so we did have 8Ks that he could have used for 2Ks. I wonder if he... It feels really weird that he didn't give the power down off the ACOS new gate, but I can only assume he didn't have the 8Ks to power down the Yasop, otherwise he would have cleared the Yasop. But yeah, I can only assume he didn't have it. We'll rest 1 Don to freeze this. And then we'll just leave 1 up for this event. Restanding... like, these are kind of equally vulnerable. I think this is the one that's most important to stand up, because if we stand up this one, he'll just take out this one, if he's going with some, like, crazy power down thing. But, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. That one is unsurprising. 8 to 6. I'll let that go. That's not swinging into anything anyway. It's too weak. If he swings into any of these, we can use the withdraw now to defend our board pretty handily. 16 to 11. Yep. Withdraw Lao. Yeah, withdraw now. Buff this. And then we'll give up the lime juice. And then he just leaves instantly. Cool. I'll take it. Some maybe slightly suboptimal plays. The 7 Don turn we didn't get a 6 cost. I don't actually hate it because we had 3 dudes that would have swung in if he didn't play the Luffy. Which is the awkward thing about playing Ace on 5. I will say. Ace on 5 definitely feels worse than Luffy, but this deck doesn't find Luffy every game. That is one slight downside. I do think it would have been slightly more difficult if he'd have been able to power down our Yasop and just remove it on that turn where he swung with the Nugate. And the sequencing was kind of weird, but I think I did a decent job of explaining why the sequencing kind of has to be kind of weird on that turn. 'Cause either you lose out on a ton of power, or you lose out on a swing because the Lucky Roo's there, right? That's also just a card that people are going to be learning to play around still. It's a weird effect. It's like Green Bonnie effect, right? But on a character that searches and has a good stat line. Crazy. Either way, well played to our opponent. I think we saw the power of pretty much everything in the deck that game. Sort of slowing them down until you can build up these big fellas. Okay, we're going to go into Sabo. They're going first. This matchup, I assume this is Strawbow. The main thing we've got to do is deal with the pirate docking. That is our primary objective, but that is easy said than done with this deck, because we don't really play low-cost removal stuff. They mulligan immediately. I do like Rue on 4. We've got Odin on 6, which is acceptable. So I think we'll keep. We're going to be able to easily deal with the pirate docking on 10, but before that, we need to see Ben Beckman. That's the first thing we need to see. Okay, this is an option. We need to see Ben Beckman here. Well, we've got him. That's the most important thing. Is there anything else we need? We do want to find a tank or Shanks. So I think we're happy to play this. But we don't get one. You can protect against Mole Pistol. He showed us the Okay, so maybe this is the Elbaf Sabo. Maybe this isn't full straw combo. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. This hits raw cost, not base cost, which is annoying. I think I'm just going to take another 2k, and I think I'm going to take... How much am I afraid of Mole Pistol? Not that much. It will only end up popping like an Odin, which is kind of fine. I'm going to take the Hongo here, because this could be okay. We could play him out later as a blocker. It's an option. Elbaf, Usopp comes down. We could actually play him now and just try and combat the board rather than playing the Lucky Roo. I don't hate starving this deck. At least I haven't when it's the full straw combo package. I don't know if this is going to be full straw combo or if this is more Elbaf. I don't really have... Okay, it looks like this is more Elbaf. In which case, starving is probably not as important, but the Lucky Roo, we also don't actually need it that much anytime soon. We do want to find tank or Shanks, but taking out this Usopp before it gets a chance to swing into us does sound quite compelling. So I might actually go with the Hongo. Resend on first. Rest these. Then we'll go 2 to 2. I very much doubt he'll defend this. I don't think I am going to starve. I think I'm just going to go 5 leader, which he'll take. And then we may as well freeze this Nami. For 1 Dom. We don't have anything else to do with the Dom. I could have swung 3 into the Usopp instead, but I don't think there's any way this is 4k blocker. No, it's no point. I did think there for a minute. Sure, just playing Robin. Yeah, we'll take this one. That's fine. Okay. Well, another Shanks is not really what I was looking for. I think I will just go with the Yasop here. It is better than the Odin in this situation because it has the onboard effect, and we can maybe get rid of this Robin as well, which is kind of cool. So we'll deploy this. Smoker is not what I wanted. Rest this. Do I want to attack with the Hongo? I think I'm fine to. If he blocks a hit, he blocks a hit. It doesn't really matter how big that hit is. So let's just attack the Robin. Get rid of her. And then we'll just go 5 leader again. He will take. He's going to 7 next turn, so could be Loki. But he's not going to be able to remove anything other than Hongo, which is fine. Oh, this restands this as well. I'm a genius. Do you want to play Lime Juice to try and find a Shanks? We can do that next turn if we don't draw it off the Ben Beckman. Because I'm happy to toss the Smoker for the effect. We'll rest 1 Don to freeze a Nami for fun again. And then restand the Hongo. I've never had this come up where I've played the Hongo out and then had a reason to attack with it. Such that the Yasop is relevant. Yeah, you can kill the Hongo. It's fine. It is what it is. We've got Ben Beckman next turn to freeze this Loki. Yeah, we'll take 1 more. That's fine. The Odin can actually also stun the Loki, which is pretty funny. But we are going to go with Ben Beckman here. Deploy this. Rest these two. We'll just keep this frozen. I think I will play the Perona to try and find a Shanks for next turn. So we'll just go... Yeah, it means I don't get to swing leader, I suppose. But I think that's fine. We'll swing 6 with Yasop. I'll just not swing the Ben. There's no point swinging into these Namis. I will swing my leader into one of them, though, because there's no reason not to. And then I'll play the Perona, and I'm going to toss one of the Smokers to freeze the Loki. Because I want to find Shanks for next turn. Cool. Whether I'm going to play this one or the Pop one, I'm not sure yet. It depends on how he responds, but... Yeah, let's trash one card. We'll trash one Smoker. Freeze this. And the reason I'm not attacking with this is because he could play some power down. This is red. Having everything restood is just quite nice. Obviously can't threaten the Loki. Too small. Far too small. This is a 12k power unit on defense, which is wild. Very wild. Now, he does have that 8-cost Luffy. We know that. He could, again, he could have used the Robin if we'd left the Ben Beckman tapped. But now the Robin is not really going to do anything. If he plays out the Brook, that's fine. We don't need the Smoker anyway. His Smoker is pretty useless. Just goes with the Usopp. Makes sense. Finds a Brook. Dawn on leader, 7 leaders. There's going to be 7 leader, 9 leader. Well, I can't take the 9, so we should counter this 7. I only have 1 2k, which is a little scary. We'll give up. I'm going to give up the Rue. This can, in theory, stun anything. I'll give up 1 Odin. I don't think we need 2. And then we'll have to take this swing. Okay, we get a 2k there. That's nice. I'm going to draw another Shanks. It's another brick. I didn't really want that. But that's okay. That's okay. Okay, right. I'm going to... What am I going to have to do? I think I'm going to start with 6 from Usopp. Because this gives him scant information. Scant a little. And I don't think he'd take this one. Yeah, we get a 1k out. That was what he took off the Usopp, wasn't it? Yeah, okay. Now, we could go with the 9-cost Shanks, remove the Loki. That removes his big unit, which is very important. And then we can actually... He still has an 8-cost, so his leader won't be small enough for our leader to swing into it. We could still swing 6, though, if we're willing to trash a card, which I kind of just am. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Removing the Loki feels good here, because then he's got to re-establish if he wants his weenies to be useful. And Loki doesn't have anything good to hit right now. So let's go with Shanks, pop this. His Usopp goes down to 3k, although it's not very relevant right now. Then we'll go 6 at leader. Which he's going to take, and then I'll go 9 at leader. Which if he's going to take the 6, he's probably going to take the 9. Then we'll use this, we'll trash one card, we'll trash another one of these Smokers to freeze this Luffy. And who do I want to restand? Yasop or Ben Beckman? Probably Ben Beckman, because the power down on that is... Like, he can take out this Yasop, I'm not that worried. If he takes out the Ben Beckman, I'll be a little bit more upset. But now we have a pretty reasonable shot at lethal next turn if he doesn't leave Don open. If he doesn't re-establish a Loki, if he just goes with another one of these Luffys, then the Usopp is worthless. He's playing Pirate Docking. But this isn't the combo build with the 4-cost Luffy. Okay, Zoro makes sense. It's a good card. Very, very good card. 9 to 6. Yeah, you can have the Yasop. This isn't going to swing. This is very, very large, though. We're going to have to take that hit. Yeah, we don't have a choice in that one. Okay, we get a counter it, though. That is good. That is strong. Alright, so this is at 9. This is at 10. If we remove this, this actually goes back down. Is it ever another 9-cost Shanks? Can do 9-cost Shanks. This drops to 7k, which is quite nice. This will drop to 9. We could... I don't think we'd ever do 11 into 9. If I go with the Rush Shanks, we can obviously take this out. The 12 might get rid of that, but it is only a might. If we swing, this leads us at 8. I think if we just pop Shanks this with 2, 4, 5, 6, 12k in, sorry, 10k in hand. Because he doesn't have an 8 cost, this split would be 4 Don to push it to 9, and then 3 more each. It's 12, 12. We're fine with 12, 12. This can't really be useful. If he plays like a cheap 8 cost, then I don't think he has lethal on us ever. Because we can... actually, we can keep this stunned as well, can't we? No, that's just the best play. That's just the best play. Just pop this again. Yeah, absolutely. We'll go 9, 11. People in the comments loved it last time I did 9, 11. Serial 9, 11. Like, what a time to be alive. Yeah, there's the 3k. Let's go 11 here. Then we'll just trash the Ben Beckman here. Trash. Better than Beckman. Freeze this. And you'll go 9 cost Shanks. I've been really liking this card, man. And I know this is probably like a more off meta deck, but this card's just been coming up. This card's just been coming up. I've been impressed. Very impressed. I don't see a way for us to lose this one. I'm going to do that lethal math and then forgot I had a leader effect, which is quite strong. Crazy, huh? Yeah, next turn, if he tries to establish blockers, we just Shanks him. It's no problem. If he goes like Loki... No, Loki's not even a blocker. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's just screwed. Didn't have a fast enough start. He got Loki on 7, but he whiffed Saul on 4. Although, to be fair, he didn't have anything to Saul because we took out the Usopp with our... what's his face? The little fella, the Hongo. Gerd trashes a Saul to grab back a Luffy. Luffy comes out. What are we doing now? Deploys Brook. Oh no, I have to trash a card. Wait, I don't. There's no 12 cost. Bruh. I know this is a bit more off meta, but it showed the power of the 9 cost Shanks at the very least. You don't always have to 10 cost, right? Like this was just a better play in both situations. Because this deck, and I think if this was the full Straw Hat build, it would have obviously been more explosive had he got the combo. Which could have been better in this matchup. But it's the same idea, right? We want to slow them down and then play Shanks to deal with the one thing that this deck relies on. In the Straw build, it's Pirate Docking. In this build, it's whatever the 12 cost is. And because this deck can't make use of Gerd being 12 cost, that is one of the weaknesses. If you're able to kill the Loki or the Saul or whatever's the 12 cost unit, the deck just falls over quite a bit. But well played to our opponent. Let's move on. So I hope you enjoyed the games. In terms of other cards that I think you could consider, firstly, I really like Perona because it finds all of your top end, as well as some of your alternate 5 costs and your events. But you could play Kinemon. Kinemon is better at finding exactly Beckman and Yasop than Perona. Early game, I would say in general I would probably prefer to play Kinemon, but the fact that Perona can be used later on, maybe alongside Beckman on 8, for example, to try and find that 10 cost Shanks that you need, that gives her the slight edge to me, but I don't think there's a lot in it. If you just want Beckman, which is kind of what I was going for this build, you could very much play Kinemon. Law is an option. I said before, I played him before. It's a good card. When you draw it on 6 in combination with your Yasop or Odin, or whatever, especially Yasop, because he can restand himself, it does feel incredibly strong. But I don't know, man. It's only good on exactly 6 Don. It's not searchable off 3 of our searches, and it's a brick. So that's why I'm not playing him. I hope you can kind of understand that why I'm not. But I think you very much could play this guy in this build. Mihawk, I think, is just worse lore, but again, you can play him. He's worse because you cannot play Yasop. You can only play the other ones, Rockstar, Odin, Smoker, Perona, whatever. Ben Beckman is here because these events are here. Now, these events are much, much better in Mihawk because Mihawk has so many extra dons. But I think you could use them alongside Ben Beckman on a 10-don turn to some pretty good effect. It's weird not playing a big Shanks on 10. You're getting a much worse unit on the board. And in many games, my opponent doesn't have a big enough board that I need to Luna. But if you are finding yourself in situations where your opponent is able to go wide enough and protect their board enough that you're getting overwhelmed in the late game, playing Ben Beckman to freeze whatever things they have active, then using your leader effect to freeze the bigger unit that Luna wouldn't hit, and then Lunaring their whole board could be quite good. Strong is just like Luna, but different. You can choose your favorite. I think if you're playing one, you're probably playing Luna for the reason that if you only need Strong, then just play the 10-cost Shanks, still freeze the big unit, and use the 10-cost Shanks' swing to guaranteed clear something. Like, you're removing 2 units already. Hopefully you'll have some kind of board to interact with theirs. I don't know. You can play Strong if you want, but I think Luna is probably the better pick. And finally, Lorne Beppo. With searchable off Perona, it's not searchable for your Red Hair Pirate stuff. And I'd only be playing this if you were cutting down the amount of 9-cost Shanks in my list. I don't think there's room for more 9+ cost characters. But this one is good, right? You push your leader to 7. You can stun one thing with him. You can stun one thing with leader. The synergy is absolutely there. And into aggro decks like Black Luffy or UG to some extent, this is still just very strong. But I wanted to try more of a Red Hair Pirates focus build in the first instance. And it's been going quite well so far. Let me know how your Shanks is looking. Is yours massively different from mine? Are you having great success with these events? Do you think he's just worse than Mihawk? Jury's still out for me. I'll load the list back up. The unique cards, especially Beckman, feel really, really good in this deck. And I do think his leader effect, I don't know if I'd say it's better or worse. I think they're very adjacent in power level. Being able to get out of one swing for free every turn is really nice. And the fact that you can trash a card to do it is just so big. If this was just Rested Don like Green Bonnie, you would be so much more locked in what you can do and when you can do it. But having the option to trash a card for this effect gives you so much versatility. I really, really like it. I don't know. More testing needs to be done. Maybe Mihawk could just end up being better. But I really am enjoying this package. Especially this Ben Beckman, man. This 9-cost Shank has been coming up more than you might think. Don't just look at 3 and go, oh, shit list. I think this card's good. I do really think this card's good. Maybe that's just because I have an SP of it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day.